of energy. I was pissed off at a restaurant, and I went outside for a smoke. I lit up the cigarette, and I looked across the street, and there was this playground. Pathetic playground. Now, granted, I was already mad about something else. And I was smoking this cigarette, looking at this stupid little playground, and it had a couple of those, like, tiny Fruity Land creatures with a harness on it that has a giant spring underneath, and the kid can get on there and go, It goes back and forth. It goes side to side. Woo, fun. And it's got that 6-foot Fisher-Price slide, you know what I mean? It's got enclosed because it's higher than 4 feet up, and you can't have kids falling or anything like that these days. Can't have that happen. And they all got those little forts, the little forts that has a bridge you can walk across, and, a couple of, like rock climbing walls to walk up it. So much fun. So much fun. I feel so sorry for the kids today. Because the playgrounds we had growing up, I'm sure you were on these things, EK, were so much better. So much better. I had to find the right kind of picture for this conversation because you see how there's a trench of water around that thing? Yeah. there was always a groove there, and if it rained recently, it was always wet and muddy. And so you'd still get on there, and so not only do you have a chance of like knocking yourself out as you come off it, but if you get thrown off of it, you have to make sure you get thrown off of it far enough so you don't get muddy and get yelled at by your mom later. That was the kind of playground these kids should be having. So I got mad at this playground. I got like really, really mad. I started thinking about like things you don't see anymore, like the jungle gyms. I love those jungle gyms, especially the big dome ones with the squares. I don't like the triangle ones, but the dome ones with the squares, I love those. I would always hang like from my knees, and you got my feet up under the next bar, and I'm just sitting there hanging upside down. Nobody who's walking above you wants to talk to you because you're upside down, and nobody who's walking below you wants to talk to you because you're upside down. So it was a kind of a real nice place to stay. I liked hanging out there because nobody, they'd leave you alone. People would leave you alone. But I think the problem with those things is that the children figured out that you could hide from your parents there. It's just time to leave the playground, and they're just hiding out in the little cage that they can get in, but the adults can't. So I think maybe that's why there should be an opening big enough for an adult to get through, I think, no matter what. They also had those big metal slides. Boy, and if it's like the middle of July, you're at the playground, it's like, I'm going to go to the playground. It's better put some jeans on because you are going to burn the hell out of your legs when you start going down a metal slide. We were so lucky because these kids today, they don't know what it's like to get in a fight in the playground. I remember I've been asking younger people. It's like, you ever been in a fight? And they're like, I've been in me and my friend fought once. It's like we were arguing, and it's like, okay, would you like fight, like fist fight? It's like, well, we were arguing, and we almost started pushing each other. You're not understanding what I'm saying. A fight. Have you ever been in a fight? An argument is not a fight. And most people say no. And I remember I can't tell you how many times I fought near or on one of those things. My childhood is like the beginning of The Outsiders. Just a bunch of kids in jean jackets rolling down to hanging out, smoking cigarettes by the merry-go-round, waiting for the other kids to come so we can fight. We're going to have a rumble. I fought so much back then. And it's like, it's okay. And kids flying off these things, that's okay. When children are young, their bones are real spongy. Bouncing baby boys comes from someplace. All right? They're supposed to learn about the dangers of the world. They're supposed to get hurt from time to time. You know why? Because you're going to be getting hurt for the entire rest of your life. And you need to learn to deal with it sooner or later. And so I looked at this playground and I just stared at it, and it's like, this is a playground designed by women who think that no kid should ever get hurt ever. And that's an absurd thought to have. Because the next thing you know, that kid has never gotten hurt ever, and they are an adult, and then they're out there in the street protesting on the side of Hamas. Because they never took a beating. Because you never spanked them. Because they never fell off a metal slide that was like 10 feet in the air. They were way higher back in the day, those slides. And you remember the swing sets, those metal swing sets with the chain link and the big rubber pad mat thing? Those things were awesome. And they were long and they were tall too, so you can get some real good height on those swings. We'd get in jump contests, jumping off the swings, see who could jump the furthest from the swing. That was awesome. We'd had kids climbing the structure of the swing set, watching this thing. You know, it had kids using their bodies. They getting hurt. They're falling from 2 feet, from 20 feet up. It was great. And we were okay. Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
Look at the danger chains.
Danger chains. Ridiculous. You know, life is full of nicks and bruises and falls from the swing set. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn to like rub some dirt in your knee, you know, and get on about your life. You know, and that's an important lesson. And the quicker you learn that, the better. And so I'm getting there. I'm staring at this stupid playground. And I couldn't imagine being a kid and like looking around this playground. It's like, this is stupid. There's nothing to do here. No wonder kids are sitting inside, getting fat, playing on their apps. Because you don't have those merry-go-rounds anymore. You don't have those huge jungle gyms anymore. You know, there's a giant rope jungle gym over at Fred Nat's Park. You've been over there, right? Mm-hmm. Fred Nat's Park. And that's almost 2 stories up. Kids are all over that thing all the time. It's probably the most interesting playground in Fredericksburg, if you ask me. And I go to all the playgrounds. Don't ask why. It's like going to, you go to like a Little League game and they're like, someone comes to you and they're like, which one's yours? And you say, I haven't picked one out yet.